it is time for Muspelheim. Map number 7 in this team match here at the GSTL between FXO and Prime. Starting to the top left is the last FXO player. He is...
FXO Lino!
The Linoctopus. Very friendly creature. Up to the point where you put him into the booth.
Yeah, you put him in a cage and he will find his way out. Octopus are very smart creatures. He's up against the Prime Zerg. He used to be known as Bumblebee, but right now he is...
Prime!
Don't mess with him, man. He might sting ya. Bumblebees usually don't sting, they kind of ram into things. See if he rams his way through the CBZ.
I'm really interested what exactly he's going to do. I actually expected him to show a bit of aggression here, but Linoc is a really tough opponent to face. So after this CBZ, do you actually think that Prime is really going to use 2 Terran players, or are they just going to use either Bjorn or Marine King and then use maybe
I've been
Classic?
thinking about this a lot, actually. And right now, I really like the choice of Muspelheim because on ZVZ, it doesn't really make too much of a difference on this map. The natural is a little bit wide open. But it's cool to use this map where it's like, okay, this is not a map I really want to play against a Zerg player on as a Terran or as a Protoss, really, so let's get out of the way with the ZBZ, which is also kind of a volatile matchup. And with the maps that are left, how well they work for Linoc's favor is really based on the choices that FXOpen has made with their map picks so far. And this puts now Prime in a position where it's like, we actually have to be really careful about this because this is not only a really tough opponent, but really tough maps too.
Yeah, Whirlwind is left and Ohana, so you have to be very, very careful how you approach it, especially on Whirlwind. Linoc has a lot of chance, even though a lot of Terran players are quite confident in playing on this map, especially with the mech.
I think that we have to see, I mean, this is thinking further ahead as these 2 players go for the identical build orders. I think that if Terius falls here, we have to see Classic on Ohana and then one of the 2 Terrans on the final map. Like a meching Terran, I would like to see Marine King on Whirlwind at the very end if it comes to that. But it may not come to that if Terius can do the deed here.
Yeah, he might be able to win this for his team and take the 5th game. So currently we have exactly the same builds, or at least very similar builds for both players. Terius at the bottom right with his queens a little bit slower than Linoc. Linoc's build seems to be a tiny little bit more refined.
Yeah, just slightly. You can see the gas is out a little bit faster, though, for Terius. And in that regard, it's just a slight trade-off. These Overlords...
Oh, that's a cute couple.
Yeah, you know, it's like a Romeo and Juliet story.
I was just about to say exactly the same.
They're going to run away together.
I'm not sure if they're really going to run away or if suddenly like Linoc and Terius will be like, no.
Well, that queen, man, that queen's like, yo, cat. I'll swat you down.
The evil queen. Bailiness for both of these players. With how the ramps work here and that you have a wide area that you have to defend, Bailiness are the usual choice on this map. It's not like you have just to defend a single file ramp in order to defend your natural, so you kind of have to prepare for Bailing aggression with getting your own Bailiness and just having a few of them. But right now already the Prime player and Linoc both with the spine crawler here trying to play a little bit defensive. We're gonna see very, very soon if one of them tries to be more aggressive or if they are just going to head into Roach.
Yeah, and on this map, like you said, it's the natural is somewhat wide open, but at the same time, it's hard to get up the ramp because the hatchery is so close to the ramp, and if you have your queen in your spine position, as both players do, you're just probably not going to be able to get up there. It's very unlikely.
Linoc with a faster lair take here.
Yeah, he's getting his additional gases, all 3 of them. He may be going for, with this type of gassing, he may be going for Spire Tech.
Yeah. He might actually choose it here, and we have currently for the Prime player also his tech to lair, so both of them not being aggressive, trying to get scouting information, but not putting out a lot of Zerglings. This is very different from what, for example, Hyun is doing when he's getting a lot of Zerglings in the early mid-game and then just tries to overpower his opponent. Both of them playing a little bit more passive, having a few Banelings or at least Zerglings they could morph so that they can defend against aggression. Of course, with the Overlords on the map, they have the perfect vision of what exactly is going on. But the tech choice is going to be quite important here.
Much faster gas for Linoc. He has his lair up a little bit faster. Seas has a ton more gas. He's got the 200 now. Will he make the Spire? There it is. And we're attempted run by here.
Yeah, but
he kills some larva, but that's not too significant.
Exactly, and the Spire attack is coming in. He did.
Does he see it?
I don't think he
I'm
did.
gonna check that. I don't think he saw it either.
I actually think Legend just showed.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah, has no clue about the Spire. But on the other hand, we have him with a double Overseer now, so he will get scouting information fairly soon. A third base being established for Lenok, whereas Tyrius is heading right into Roach Infestor. Very good composition here.
When this builder, when these two builders collide as the Spiring player, you aspire, no pun intended, to kill the third base of your opponent, or at least delay it so significantly that you can catch up with your own tech. But if you get fungled, you lose all your mutas, and or your opponent gets a third base up, you're going to find yourself extremely behind.
What most Zerg players do is just trying to get the Overlords out of the picture and not even trying to hit it more too aggressive timing because they're not quite aware of how fast their opponent's tech and their defense is. So Overlord hunting is one of the first things that you try to do. Very few Zergs actually try to hide the Mutalisk and try to hit the, well, the Bane base and the natural, take out the Queens, for example, before there are Spore Crawlers. But let's see how Lenok is going to approach this. He has a lot of gas. He can go for 10 Mutalisks, easy.
Yeah, and he starts with 6. He's got a slight larva problem temporarily, and now actually going to start Overlords because he's supply blocked. This is not a good situation to be in as Lenok, though. You, as a Mutalisk player, cannot afford to cancel your hatchery. He's got Banelings coming in, but I think with the Banelings coming in for Terrius, he may lose us. He needs to be careful, and that was a decent hit.
There are a lot more Banelings, though. Here come the Mutalisk doing some damage, and the supply block was certainly bad for Lenok. He's going to lose this base.
Yeah. A lot of Lings lost for Terrius, though, and this gives Lenok a little bit of a window, but he needs to go, at the very least, kill Terrius' hatchery. If he doesn't get that, then Terrius is actually going to find himself extremely ahead, tech-wise and economy-wise.
The big problem for Lenok is because he was supply blocked and because his third base was attacked, he had to show the Mutalisk. So now Terrius can prepare. He's getting Spore Crawlers, he has extra Queens, he's going for his Infestors. So there's not a lot that Lenok can actually do with these Mutalisks. He's trying to force a cancel on the third, but the Queens are already on their way over there. And actually, if Terrius plays this well, he might even be able to defend. I don't think that Lenok is going to kill it.
It's certainly going to be close. He's got a lot more Lings over. These two Banelings need to get in as well as the Infestors. The Infestors are going to actually trap the Mutas potentially here.
Yeah, look how aggressively he's spreading his creep to the third base. He really wants to connect the spaces so that the Queens can help out against the Mutalisk. And then he has the Infestors in position. He can fungal it right away, saving all of these Infestors so far.
Saves all of them, yeah.
And even losing one.
The Mutas, is he going to force the trade? He can't. I mean, well, if he doesn't try to force the trade with the Mutas, then what's he going to use the Mutas for? So it's like, what do you do here as Lenok in his position? It's really frustrating.
Yeah, he's a bit in an awkward spot now. One of the bigger problems for him is that the Prime Zerg now has a +2 already on its way, whereas Lenok just started +1 attack.
And just, I mean, the supplies are so similar right now, but it's not going to stay that way.
And if you just look at the tech, we also have Tyrius now going straight into the Hydra Den. So he will have this extra DPS. He has the third base up faster. He's getting a lot of drones right now, whereas Lenok is just trying to catch up with the Infestors. But of course, the Infestors for Tyrius have a lot more energy now.
And I think maybe trying to target some of those Infestors down with the Mutas or even going for the hatchery might have been the better choice. It's always hard to make a choice like that. And there's always a lot of hindsight that goes in this. But how useful have those Mutas been? All he's going to be able to do is kill this Overseer that he probably could have just killed with his Queen. And the Mutalisks here just are not very useful. He killed, I think, 2 Overlords in total. I mean, he's
I love
trying
the
to
Contaminate, by the way.
Yeah, it's at least something with that Overseer. But he's trying to find something to do with these Mutas. But there's not a whole lot to be done.
Range upgrade now started for Tyrius. He's in a great position here. He's also now getting another hatch. He's getting a macro hatch. And his +2 is going to finish at roughly the same time that Lenok gets his +1. But Lenok a lot more Infestors now.
He sees the move out, and he's going to come in here and go for drones. He saw the Infestors move out. He only got, I think, 2 or 3 drones there. 2 in total, in fact. But he's trying to abuse these Mutalisks in some way.
Tyrius is finally getting his own Infestors. Well, a few more, that is. And he needs them. He really, really needs them. I love these few roaches that he has to the top right of the map to take down Lenok's Queen and make sure that Lenok can't mine. But yeah, he needs a bit of a win here.
Small little harassment again by Lenok. It's very rare to actually see players try to get away with stuff like this with their Mutas.
Hydralisks are now coming into the game.
Leonok's taking a work lead with this harassment. He's actually taking out more and more drones.
He's doing a great job here, killing every single gas drone, and well, he loses the Mutalisk too, but still, that was well done. The fourth, actually to the top right, was taken down by Tyrese. Leonok couldn't defend it. He took a little bit of a gamble when he took it, the base that is.
He
but
killed
right now,
16 drones. And now if he catches these roaches, Leonok will actually catch up and take a lead in this game. Well, a lead in some ways. Upgrade-wise, it's hard to say. The Infestor count is actually very much so in Leonok's favor, though, at 13 to 8.
But don't forget about the extra DPS with the Hydras. That's going to be a big issue. So it comes down to how you position your units in the fight and how Leonok can actually engage these Hydralisks. Because right now, Tyrese has definitely the stronger army in terms of DPS. As you already pointed out though, the Infestor count is in favor of Leonok. So if he gets good Fungals and good Infested Terrans, that might change everything.
Yeah, what Leonok needs to do is realize that this army is so heavy in Hydras and make a ton of Roaches and just use his Infestor advantage well. If he can do that, he'll be able to eventually get his own Hydras out too. The Mutas can't really do much else at this point. He's trying to use them, but freeing up their supplies is the best thing he can really do with them right now.
Tyrese is actually playing a little bit timid here.
Yeah, I would completely agree. The fourth for Leonok is getting back up here. Tyrese has his own fourth coming up, but it's a little bit later. And there's even a macro hatch going down for Leonok.
You know,
right now.
he had and still has a window where he has the superior upgrades, and he had a very good composition, but he's afraid to actually fight. He doesn't... well, the Fungal catches a few Roaches, but not enough. Once again, Leonok dodging, but this time the Fungal is a lot better, and he's forced to fight. Leonok is forced to fight, and now how is Tyrese going to approach this? He needs a few Fungals against the Infested Terrans as well. Could also just move back, but he overwhelms his opponent.
That's a lot of energy used for Leonok.
Exactly.
And so
for Tyrese.
For both players traded energy, but Leonok still has the better Infestor count at 17 to 7. I mean, he's got a nickname for a reason. This is a very risky engagement for Tyrese. He cannot afford to botch this.
And +2 for Leonok is nearly done. They will be on even upgrades in just a few seconds.
This seems like the wrong choice to attack right now. Not right here, not right now. A ton of Roaches on the inside already here.
Nice Fungals for both players. We have a ton of Infested Terrans, and Leonok is falling a little bit behind in the actual supply. They are both on exactly the same upgrades, +2, but suddenly there is the snowball. Leonok is taking a huge supply lead in the game.
Those Infested Terrans slowly trying to chase here.
He just had so many Infestors, and the Infested Terrans really changed the course of battle. And the bank for Leonok is so much better.
Oh, a little bit of harassment here, though, is taking out quite a few of Leonok's workers. Equalizing it a little bit now. It's down to 62 versus 59. Will not be able to clean those up without an Overseer.
Look at this bank for Leonok. He's actually lacking a few lava here, but now he can just go, there it is, maxed out straight again, go for the max army.
He's going to pick off some of these Tyrese Roaches. Tyrese is not mining from his base to the bottom left, the fourth, but neither is Leonok to his fourth. So they both have these bases. They harassed each other, but at this, those Roaches.
I mean, we have a +1 armor upgrade for Tyrese, so that's one of the advantages that he has. But the Infestor count alone is 14 to 4 in favor of Leonok. He has a great army here, and this is a very tough situation for the Prime player to be in, especially because Leonok has this huge bank.
Leonok with 2 hatcheries is actually just saying, you can have that one, that's fine. I'm going to trap you on the retreat with my Infestors. He doesn't get that off, though. Tyrese was prepared, and that was an intelligent choice there, because he knew if I go all the way up the ramp with these units, Leonok's going to trap me in there. We've seen Lucero do that on this map before.
These run-bys are pretty cool, and there are the Fungals, and immediately throws down the Infested Terrans, whereas 2 forces are heading for the third and for the natural of Leonok. Sorry, of Tyrese.
Yeah, Tyrese needs to get these reinforcing Roaches out. His Infestors can only hold the Fungals for so long. This is such a close game. I think that Leonok may get an edge here, though, if he can push through the natural just a little bit further.
If he can get this base, this would be so important to him. He's down in supply, but he still has the bank. He can rebuild his army if he has enough lava. This is the one thing that he's lacking.
Yep, he's trading really well against all the reinforcing units of Tyrese. Tyrese forced to use only Fungals really to fight.
Really cost-efficient engagements for Leonok, and it begins to show. The Prime player is falling farther and farther behind in overall supply, and Leonok's Infestor count is really what gives him this position in the game. 18 to 7 overall. He has just so much more energy for Infested Terrans and Fungals.
They're both going to go back to 3 bases in a second. But like you said, the energy, the money, all the mine minerals is very different for Leenock. He's a more cost efficient, he's been more economy efficient. The Infestor count is 18 to 7. I believe it's about to be 21 to 9. Yeah, 21 to 9 until after both players have finished their rounds.
Resources lost are 19,000 for Tyrius and 16,000 for Leenock, so this already shows a little bit how well Leenock engages here in these battles. And that he's just trading a lot of energy for units.
Yeah. Poor Roach is going to get a little Roach squeal.
Also, Leenock is now taking his 4th base. He committed to taking the 2 Vespene Geysers, he has the Extractors, and is moving out with his army in order to get into a better position here on the map.
A lot of Lings in the army for Terius, 36 of those, and those are not going to be very useful against the upgrades of Leenock, plus any Fungals that they encounter are going to be detrimental. Of course, if we can avoid the army, that's where you get slight bases, but...
Terius is also not getting any Hydralisks anymore, he just can't afford them. And Leenock, well...
A great number of Infestors. The Lings do get around like secret agents, and they're going to go in and snipe this hatchery.
That's a pretty cool run by, but the problem for Terius is, can he actually survive this attack? There are tons of Infested
Where
Terrans.
are Terius' Infested Terrans? They're way too late. He can't even make them anymore. It's not going to work.
Yes, Leenock might lose his 4th, but Terius is definitely going to lose his 3rd.
Yeah, his 3rd and potentially some of his drones and some of his Infestors. Loses 1 there, and he's going to lose 2 more Roaches as well. The DPS on that Infestor ball for Leenock is insane.
And Leenock, well, it's the same supply as Terius, but now the income is much better for Leenock. At the bottom left, we have another base being established for the Prime player, but this is going to take quite a while for him to get the space up and mining.
A lot of drones coming with this army. I guess he could potentially make some spine crawlers with them at the base if it comes to that.
Leenock is going for 27 Infestors against 7.
I think that this game is basically over if Terius can't break through here, which I don't think he will against this many Infestors. The Roaches try to close this. Look at all those Infested Terrans. Now, this is a sick bait because that's a lot of energy used and then he just walks away. I like that a lot because now those Infested Terrans are a little bit useless and awkward over there.
I would love 2 things of Terius. First of all, use the Burrow upgrade that you already have to just re-max the HP on your units. That's the first thing that I would really like him to do. Because his Roaches are in really bad shape. He needs to regain those HP. And then if he's able to bait out energy from Leenock and just moves back until all of those Infestors are low, he could actually engage.
Yeah, and doing things like this, like, yeah, he's going to take a hit at his natural, but he's eventually going to trade well with the rest of his Roaches. That's a good trade for him. Leenock does have Burrow movement, though, and there's no Infestors nearby. That's the big story here. Right now, Leenock's Infestor count is up to 29 versus 6.
There's just no mining going on for Terius anymore. So Leenock has mining, is going for another base to the top right, and he has all these Infestors. He's only building Infestors. He's not building anything else. He has 29. He's building another 3.
He's being targeted with those Infested Terrans. He's going to lose his 3rd base again before he can remake it. Cancelled. And Leenock basically could do whatever he wants at this point. These drones, you guys, I don't even know if you guys saw those on screen for a second, but there's a group of drones that's like, it's 41 drones in a ball, and they're all long distance mining across the map. So Leenock has the insanely better economy. He's about to have a 4th base up, which is going to make it even more different than it just looks at right now.
Terius is forced to attack, and that's exactly what he does. He's basically all in with this.
Yep. And he needs to be good Fungals so far from Leenock. He drops some Infested Terrans as well.
Both of them with the Infested Terrans. Leenock with the extra Fungals in the game. And both at the same supply, but these Infested, they're just way too many Infested Marines.
Yep. Leenock holding strong here. He's not even using all of his energy. He's just dropping wave after wave, and eventually it's going to be too much. Terius does not have the economy to remake units.
He's down to 85 supply right now, whereas we have Leenock still with mining, and he has so many Infestors. He has 27 still left.
GG. And Leenock continues the trend.
Yep.
We've got 2 players left now for Prime, and I'm feeling right now we see Classic on Ohana and then Marine King on Whirlwind with Mech, if that happens. But they could surprise us. Terius was a bit of a surprise to me. and they may have more tricks and ideas up their sleeve.
Terrace even had a decent window that he didn't really know about, where he had the upgrade advantage, and he also had the better composition with Roaches and Hydralisk, but he didn't move out. He was a bit afraid of what exactly Linoc had. And then over time, Linoc just got so many infestors that it was really, really difficult for Terrace to engage. He just played the better game in the end.
Now, Gerard looking a little bit pensive here. Now, I'm sure he's already made the choice. Now he just has to carry it out. Linoc getting some praise that he deserves. They've been talking about this match for a really long time. You know, even Select said it earlier, and we've had discussions with them. I've seen them talking backstage about maps and things like that, and it's coming to a culmination here. There's no more map picks for FXOpen. It's all about the Prime players. There's 2 left.
Whirlwind and Ohana are the 2 maps, and we need to have 2 players. So this is actually going to be 2 Terran players. Are we going to have Beyond Marine King? Do we have Classic? Would be a good choice for Ohana, of course, having a Protoss player here. So
I think there's 3 possible players, and they're Beyond Marine King and, of course, Classic. I don't think we're going to see Arya. Not today. Not right now. This is not the time.
Yeah, so who is exactly going to be the choice for the Prime team? We are heading into a break after the player has been announced, but this is getting a bit tense here. And to the top, Beyond. To the top left, top right, we have Marine King. It is Beyond. I think this also settles the last player of the day. Beyond is going to be defeated. I don't think that they would use Classic over Marine King.
I absolutely agree. You either use Classic in the one of the 2, or you use one of the 2 and then the second of the 2. You can't finish with Classic. He's not a finisher. He is the captain, but captains usually don't come out last.
And well, there's our Terran. He is up against Linoc. We're going to find out which map he's picking against the Zerg player from Team FXO after the break. Guys, we're heading into another 5-minute break, and as soon as we are back, we will have Beyond up against Linoc.